Hello, friends. I'm Kathy Fay, Executive Director of the Boston Early Music Festival, or BEMF, and I'm so pleased to welcome you to this pre-concert talk preparatory to the upcoming concert on our 2025-2026 concert series featuring the extraordinary musicians of Le Consort, taking place on Friday, March 13th at 8 p.m. in the beautiful sanctuary of First Church Cambridge Congregational in Cambridge, Massachusetts. By popular demand, Le Consort's upcoming concert represents their second appearance on our annual series. Just 2 years ago, we presented the BEMF debut of Le Consort, and fans in attendance on that occasion cheered and stomped and begged me to engage the ensemble again as soon as possible. So here we are. All of us at BEMF are delighted to welcome back the thrilling musicians of Le Consort to the BEMF concert stage. Celebrating their 10th anniversary season, Le Consort has prepared a very special program entitled A Trio Sonata Soiree, a whirlwind journey through Baroque Europe, highlighting the fascinating and virtuosic trio sonata repertoire of composers like Bach, Telemann, Vivaldi, Albinoni, alongside other gems of the chamber music repertoire. It is my great honor to introduce our two guests, violinists Théotime Langlois de Swart and Sophie de Bardenech. Théotime and Sophie, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
We're looking forward to hearing more about your motivation for this program. And Théotime, if memory serves, you could not join the ensemble for Le Consort's first appearance 2 years ago because you were expecting your second child. Belated congratulations on that. But we were lucky enough to present you the following season in a blockbuster program with Les Arts Florissants, celebrating the 300th anniversary of the original publication of Vivaldi's Four Seasons in 1725. And because all of us at BEMF cannot get enough of a good thing when we hear it, this past summer in June of 2025 at our biennial International Boston Early Music Festival, we were treated to another remarkable performance by you and your co-director, colleague of Le Consort, harpsichordist Justin Taylor. Before I turn the microphone over to Théotime and Sophie, for those wishing to attend our performance by Le Consort on March 13th, tickets are still available and can be purchased online by visiting the BEMF website at BEMF.org or by calling the BEMF office at 617-661-1812. For those unable to attend our in-person performance on March 13th, virtual tickets are on sale as well. Our virtual presentation premieres on Friday, March 27th, and will be available for a 2-week period through and including Friday, April 10th. If you'd like to learn more about the program, you will find the concert program itself, biographies, and program notes by Sophie on the BEMF website. Again, that's at bemf.org. With that, I will now disappear from the screen and turn the discussion over to the two of you. Théotime and Sophie, thank you very much, and thanks to all of you for watching this pre-concert talk. I look forward to seeing you on Friday, the 13th.
Thank you so much, Kathy. It's always a pleasure to play in Boston. It's a very important city for music, and it's such an honor to play at the Boston Music Festival or in the season. And it's such a joy. I'm so sorry to have missed our debut as a chamber music group in Boston. But it was for a good reason, and now I'm so happy to be back. And I just celebrated the 2 years anniversary of my daughter, so she's perfectly fine. And we had the candles tonight.
Great.
And with Le Consort, we are playing like in 2 days in Zurich with a lovely singer, Gwendoline Blondel. And after, we are very happy to go back to our roots with the trio sonata. And it's very important for us to play this very special repertoire that we love. It's sonata for 3 parts, so 2 violins and basso continuo. Sophie, can you say a little bit more about trio sonata?
Of course, but you can say as well. But hello, everyone. I'm very happy to participate to this talk about our program and the idea of this concert coming up. So you said first trio sonata. Why trio? Because we will be four. It's always a question that people ask, and of course, there is a strange thing because actually there is three parts: first violin, second violin, and the third part is shared between cello and harpsichord. So with Justin and Anna. So it's trio sonata because the music is in fact three parts instead, in fact, but we are four. So I hope you understood a bit. And it's really our specialty. Like, I mean, we are playing this repertoire from 10 years and we love this repertoire. It's maybe something you don't hear a lot. I mean, quartet, for example, string quartet is very well known. I'm sure you heard quintet with piano. I mean, it's not maybe the most famous genre trio sonata. People often wonder what it is about, but we love this particular repertoire. And actually, I mean, most of the Baroque composer wrote for this special trio sonata genre. So in this program, we will take more, but they are like very famous composer alongside the composer that we love, but maybe you don't know, and that's absolutely normal because we are kind of the only one on earth to play this music. And so, yes, Tim, your turn to say a bit more, but I hope you understood why we are four and we are playing trio sonata.
And so, yeah, Sophie, completely agree with you. And so every important figure of the Baroque era was composing trio sonata. If you think of Handel, if you think of Bach, Vivaldi, or Couperin, or so many, actually, Albinoni, also Corelli, every composers had their trio sonata. It was really a way to express yourself as a composer, and sometimes it was the first opus. It was to show your mastering the composition through this very special chamber music genre. And so we will play in this program a lot of different repertoire. It's to bring an idea of what is this style. And so it's why we are mixing different countries, French style, also German style, and also, of course, Italian style, because the trio sonata was born in Italy.
Yes, I mean, so I'm to present a bit more the program. We will begin with the French part. So Michel Pignolet de Monteclair. It's normal if you've never heard this name, but it's just a little introduction for two violins. And after Jean-François Dandrieux, and we really love this.
Very important for Monteclair, it's a plainte. So it's like calling a piece painful, not painful, like
Lamentation?
complaining. In plainte, it's like when you cry, it's a plainte in French, in a way. Sorry to interrupt.
No, but it's true. Like, it's a way of expressing dolor. Like, and so it's obviously we begin with a very sad piece. So for sure. And then we will continue with Jean-François Dandrieux, which is one of our favorite composer because it's the very first album of Le Consort. So back 8 years ago now, was devoted to Jean-François Dandrieux. And because it's trio sonata published in 1705 in Paris, they were never recorded, never played, and for us it's very, very interesting music. It's full of contrast, but it's influenced by Italy, but with particular French style also. I hope you will like this music as much as we do, but we really love it. It's four movements like Corelli Trio Sonata. Corelli, one of the... We actually won't play Corelli in this program, but Corelli is one of the inventor, we can call it, of trio sonata because he published sonatas in 1687, I think, and this really changed the way of composing trio sonata through Europe. Before it was more like movements with changing tempos, and Corelli arrived, and from there it's four movements often, and he created a way to to organize in fact the sonata. And so this sonata is based on this model created by Corelli in 4 movements, and it's a sonata we particularly love. So we begin with French music. We are French, totally normal. Sorry, but French
You can
musicians love
surely
to play French
recognize
music.
our accent is quite obvious. And after we're gonna play Albinoni. Albinoni is very known for an adagio that he never composed. So if you want to listen real Albinoni, let's hear our concert. And after we are playing Telemann. Telemann is a very important figure of the Baroque because he's very famous, but his work is almost it's very unknown. Nobody plays the trio sonata of Telemann. It's oftenly never recorded for a big figure of the Baroque era. I think it's very interesting. And after we're gonna play Antonio Vivaldi, that we really love, of course. It's a very main figure of the Baroque and main figure of the trio sonata because his first opus was a trio sonata opus published in Amsterdam and in Venezia also in 1705. And after, we're gonna play more like the Venetian roots. Biagio Marini is Venetian, no? I think it's Venetian, yeah.
Yes.
And Tarquinio Merulla, a very, very super nice. And I forgot to say that we play a very lovely piece by George Philippe Telemann with this very weird name, Lilliput Chacon. So
You know where it comes from? That
it
Etienne?
comes from, please, I think I know, but please,
It's come from Gulliver. I don't know if this
Liver.
book is famous in America, but it's very famous in French. And Lilliput is because in this book there are different world, we can say, and there are giants and very little people, and it's a story of a human being are living in this different world, and so Lilliput is the word of very little. So this Chacona is written in a very funny way. We will maybe it will be funny. We'll see, but it's inspired by a very important story. Maybe we will explain a bit more
And
in the
it's
concept.
only played by the violins.
Yeah.
So we are the tiny people. We both are. And
Not
so
only
after we're gonna play Giovanni Battista Reali, it's a very nice composer, exact same period as Vivaldi, and he composed his trio sonata at the same moment. And there is also a beautiful folia, and as Vivaldi trio sonata, and as the fifth opus of Corelli, the very important figure of the. And after the
we
intermission.
can say a bit more about Reali because
Yeah,
Reali was
you can say that we don't know anything about him.
no, it's not very true. It's not like it's just like it's funny because he published his sonata just 2 years after Vivaldi, but it's very different career. But we kind of know that he traveled, but yes, it's true. We don't know a lot, but we recorded also this music. It's our second album, and it's really inventive music. We don't know his life, but we know that he was very inventive. He go like high in the register for the violin. He has a lot of ideas, and in this folia, he also had a cello concerto, virtuose line for the cello, which is quite a new thing for the period because the violoncello at this time was not as famous as the violin. I mean, it was more an instrument that was accompanying the when the cello à la mode, we can say, was later. Actually, Vivaldi was one of the very first to write a concerto for this instrument, but really, in this folia, not in the folia by Vivaldi, for example, there is 3 parts: first violin, second violin, and continuo. As if you follow, you know the thing. But in the folia of Reali, there is first violin, second violin, violoncello, cello, and also the basso continuo. So actually, 4 parts for 4 people, more normal. But
Finally,
yes, but this is the only work of this program featuring this situation. I mean, it's very virtuous for the cello. There are some variation from the violin, and after the cello is doing exactly the same in his register. So of course different, but and it's kind of impressive and really joyful to play this folia by Reali. No, it's important to say because nobody knows really.
Yeah,
So
of course.
we are happy to talk about him, to talk about his music, because it deserves to be more known for us.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we did the first recording of Reali. So it's very important. It's a composer as Jean-François Dandrieux that we kind of hold on our shoulder, if I may say, because without us, nobody would play Reali. I hope that other people would be interested in his music. But for now, we are the only ones who did a recording of him. And I think it was played maybe 2 years ago, some of Reali, not the same piece. But we can also say that it's maybe a world premiere in Boston or Cambridge.
I
And
think we did
after,
not play this foiler. I'm quite sure it was not in the program. We played the one maybe, but well, maybe we played with Valdi because, but we did not play really, I think.
And after, for the second part of the program, I'm beginning the second part with the Passacaglia for solo violin from Heinrich Ignaz von Bieber. So it's a German composer of the 17th century. And he was very important figure for the solo violin repertoire. He did the Rosary sonatas, and it's about telling the stories of like the passion, the patient, the history of the Bible of the Christ, and so the Passacaglia of the guardian angel, telling the story of this guardian angel keeping his watch on the life of one people and following this people from his birth to his death. And so it's very metaphysical piece, very important, very interesting. And with this ostinato bass, som da da da, that we can find in Lamento de la Ninfa, in the Mad Lover, in the Passacaille d'Armide from Lully. And it's a very important theme and variations in a way on this very important bass and the figuralism of the tetrachord for three ta pa pa pa, four notes descending. And just after this, there will be the magnificent preludio from Bach of the G major suite for cello solo. I don't have to present this because it's one of the most important work, worldly famous of Bach. And after we're gonna play a very nice trio sonata in G major by Johann Sebastian Bach. And it's a lovely piece that we've already played maybe for 8 years that accompany ourselves. And we always love to play this particular music. It's very influenced also by Corelli. It's also, there is the fugato because it's Bach, so we always need to add small fugues and very beautiful slow movements with a lot of lyrism, and great way of composing for the violin specifically. And after, Sophie, you have to tell the story of the Larghetto by Vivaldi or Bach.
Alors this is a piece actually first written for the violin for no Larghetto. Yes, it's a concerto, no? For
It's the
violin by
concerto
Vivaldi.
from l'Estro Armonico.
And Bach, discovered this. En fait, when Bach he studied a lot of score by Vivaldi, and we know that because he transcribed some score for his instruments, the harpsichord. So and also like he even published later some works into called like concerto Italianische concerto. So he was very influenced by this music and particularly Vivaldi. That's why we play this piece just before the trio sonata by Vivaldi, because there is a link. So we play first the trio sonata by Bach, then Bach would transcribe Vivaldi, and then Vivaldi, because the connection is more present than we can think about. And so we will play this, Justin will play this piece on harpsichord, and then we will play the trio sonata called La Folia. The La Folia, it's a very ancient, very old theme. There are some different, let's say, people will say different version of this, but probably it was sung during people were on boats. They were like, I mean, it's there are a lot of story, and I don't know if you will understand
It's funny
something, but
because It's my story
Okay,
because my
tell
teacher
it.
used to say this, but actually I think it's a lie. But it's a very nice
There
lie.
are so many versions, but
So
that
many
we know for
versions.
sure, it's
Yeah.
a very old like a melody. Very simple, and composer are composing variation on the same theme for, and this, so it's not only 1 minute of theme, but 11 minutes of the same thing, but in a lot of variation of a lot of wave, from, like, I mean, a slow version, very virtuose version, with a short note, with long note. I mean, it's a lot of texture of atmosphere, different, with the same thing at the beginning, so the same bass and the same harmony during all the piece, and that creates also a particular harmony. It's very entertaining because it's going crescendo until the end, kind of. So we begin like, it's very beautiful, and it's going from it's growing of intensity during 10 minutes, and so at the end it's really something very strong and very powerful, very powerful music. So we often we end our concert with this piece, because it's create a special atmosphere, and for the public, for the audience, but also for us to play this music, and to in during this the from the beginning to the end, we are going for a lot of immersion, a lot of dedication to the music, and when we arrive at the end, it's something special.
Absolutely. It's a very ancient theme, and it's why it's so interesting because it's from the 12th or 13th century. And it was composed, or it was like a popular theme that people used to sing, and we don't know in which places. So there is this story of roaring people of very hard labor, and to try to not think of your labor, you are singing this very important theme, and it was also sung by the in the French colonies in the Jesuits mass. So we know that the slaves in the colonies were singing this particular theme. So now that I know this story, I always imagining that the folia is also the power to free yourself
Mhm.
by this repetition and by these very virtuosic variations. You free yourself from your your everyday problem lives in a way, if I may say. We are so happy to play in Cambridge and Boston, and it will be such a pleasure for us to go to this very important repertoire of trio sonata. And I hope you will like it, and it will be a nice concert for you guys also. And we're gonna play 10 concerts in the US, and it's one of our first days in Boston, so it will be a great pleasure.
It will be travel from France to Italy to Venice. After we will go to Germany. So, and we will finish with Italy. So it's really full of color, full of different atmosphere, and we hope you will discover pieces that you never heard, and that we hope you will love it. And also, famous composer Bach is known for a very good reason. The trio sonata of him is really a masterpiece, but actually this trio sonata is less known than all the work by him, because trio sonata is not so famous. But I hope when you will, if you go to this concert, you will say like trio sonata. It's finally it's a good thing.
It's
I want to
worth
hear
it.
more of trio sonata. Thank you, and see you soon.